Hey, hi, I'm Dan here, and today I would like to record a video upon request of my friend, which asked me to do something on resilience. Well, I can go into describing what resilience is, but I would like us to take some steps towards how to build resilience in our young people, but also ourselves. If you would ask people around yourselves how they feel about their life, you'll be a little bit surprised. Actually, the nationwide survey done in the United States, and I couldn't find it here in the United Kingdom, when it comes to students, is that 94% of students around the United States will say that they feel overwhelmed. You see, they are saying that their life is actually happening to them. They're not actually leading in the life, but the life is happening to them. You would say, well, that is very natural. We live in a world which is fast and full of information, but they're bombarded by everything around themselves. Some research shows that we receive every single day more than 10,000 messages. More than 10,000 messages. Now, if you're wondering why this is important, well, let me tell you. In 1954, Julian Rodden did the research and came to the conclusion that two groups of people in this world. The first group he defined as a group of which have external locus of control. So let me explain this to you. These are the people who simply go through life and things just happen to them. In other words, life happens to them, not other way around. Those are the people who would say, well, I got a bad grade in a test or exam because teacher gave me a bad grade. They would not take this as a personal responsibility, but they would say, well, this happened to me. These are the people who would say, well, mom needs to do this or dad needs to do that, and they would just go through life. Second group of people are people who he defined have a strong internal locus of control. These are the people which I would say they happen to life. And that means simply they're clear in direction, they know what they need to do, and they go for that. They would take responsibility for every single step in order for them to achieve what they want to achieve. I want my young people to have a strong internal locus of control. Now you're wondering, why is this important? In 1963, Julian Rodden came to the conclusion that the people who have strong internal locus of control are the people who are more successful and go further in life. From 2002, the research shows that we are failing our young people, that we are developing young people with external locus of control. This coincides with the explosion of social media. You see, somehow and suddenly, they're not good enough. There's always somebody who's more beautiful, who's more rich and has things, and suddenly the young people who really should be trying to shift this locus of control to be internal becomes external. And for all of this, we are a little bit guilty. Now you're probably wondering, well, how is this all happening to us, and how do we become people with internal locus of control or external locus of control? But the reality is that it has to do with us as we are born, but at the same time, it has to do a lot with us, how we are brought up. We as parents decide, well, we can't control the world, but we can control our kids. At the same time, this is sometimes happening in the youth clubs and Pathfinder clubs or any other organization. We simply just get to the conclusion which the best thing to do is to control these young people. But in order for us to build a resilient young people, we need to rethink this. When I say rethink, we really need to rethink. You see, none of us as parents or teachers or youth workers want to see our young people going through pain. And we generally try to put ourselves on a way to make sure they don't experience that bad thing in their life. But the reality is, in life, we all experience bad things. And this is where resilience comes. You see, we will make sure that our kids are safe, that they don't have fall, or they don't scratch themselves, or anything like this. But we need to allow space for them to experience these things now as young people. Because our job as youth workers, as pastors, as leaders, is not just to protect, but it is to prepare for life. What this really means is that we need to allow our young people and ourselves at the same time to experience the pain, and at the same time make a mistake, have that fall. You see, as a parent, the easiest thing to do is this, to just jump into a game, and as your child or maybe your pathfinder or your student is trying to do something, you just jump in and just like, oh, let me do this for you, because you know it's going to take a long time for them to do it. At the same time, they might make a mistake. In other words, you're telling to this child is simple thing, and that is that I can do it, but you can't do it. You're automatically moving this from internal locus of control to external locus of control. This child is now starting to believe that maybe for everything else they won't be able to do it, and because of that they need somebody outside of their life to do it for themselves. So if we are to prepare young people which are resilient young people, at the same time, if we are to grow and become more resilient, we need to be aware where our locus control. I hope, as I'm trying to help newer generations to have the strong internal locus of control, that we'll be able to do that for ourselves and other people as well.